Naughty Dog, the people who brought us Jak and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot, The Last of Us, I mean, who doesn't remember that amazing game? The Last of Us TV show, because they also made that, apparently, and whatever this thing is. They also brought us a fun little PlayStation 3 launch title, which was called Unearthed Trial of Ibn Battuta. So this is an Uncharted ripoff that I found, and it is the most ridiculous thing. For some reason, Troy Baker is in it, which I don't understand at all. It's just like, why is Troy in this? I was like, look at this thing. It's ridiculous. It's literally just like they clearly, like this is Uncharted 2 right here. This very level is Uncharted 2. Today we're going to be talking about Uncharted Drake's Fortune, because for some reason I had the PlayStation Remaster collection on my PS Store, but I never bought it. I just had it for some reason for free. So I was like, hey, free games, I'm not going to complain. And I gotta be honest, I played the first Uncharted in a weekend. It's a really, really short game. I think it was about 8 hours long, maybe a little bit longer. I did speed run through it quite quickly, but I mean, I got most of the treasures as well. I got 40 out of 60, and I'm very proud of myself. The first Uncharted, not the movie, of course, the game started development in 2005, after Jak 3 was pretty much done and dusted. Who didn't love this game? This game was awesome. You could drive around a little buggy. It was pretty much Mad Max, but with, like, aliens. It was also a brand new IP, which, I mean, nowadays IPs aren't really a thing anymore. I feel like it's just sequels, reboots, remakes, and nothing else. Except for, actually, there is Expedition 33, which looks pretty awesome. It looks amazing. It also has an incredible cast, so I hope this game does well. Now, Uncharted was designed to show off the PlayStation 3 and the power that it could do. Now, the PlayStation 3 is pretty much like the black sheep of the PlayStation family. I mean, it sold, I think it did sell pretty decently, but it didn't sell nearly as well as the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 4, and of course the PlayStation 5. I think it had, I don't know, I think it was very expensive at the time from what I understand, and that's why people just didn't buy it as much. It was also a very, very thick boy in terms of hardware. It was kind of like your uncle during Christmas who would be a little too drunk during the holiday period. The inspiration behind Uncharted was actually, of course, and this one is very obvious, Indiana Jones. So old. But another inspiration was actually Nicolas Cage during National Treasure. So National Treasure was a huge inspiration, and I can sort of see a little bit of Nate Drake within the man himself, Nick Cage, because he does sort of have that vibe to him, specifically with that hair. He's got great hair. Which, by the way, playing Uncharted 1 again, I don't think Nathan Drake is Nathan Drake. I think he's just Nathan. I don't remember anyone calling him Drake in the game. Of course, it's called Drake's Fortune. Yeah, Drake is actually this, like, really old dude. How does he have... Wait, he has a beard. That's not how skulls work. What? I didn't even notice that when I was playing the game. Wait, what? So in the first game, he's predominantly just Nathan. Everyone calls him Nate or Nathan. I don't remember anyone calling him Drake. Perhaps one of the villains does, but I don't remember anyone calling him Drake specifically. What a beautiful face. The game was officially unveiled at E3 in 2006. Wow. Is that Steven Spielberg? Oh, the Wii! The Wii came out that year. Well, it was probably announced that year. And the PlayStation 3, yeah. Apparently a lot of people made fun of it, calling it Dude Raider, which is like a really random thing. Oh wow, it does come up. And when you take this into consideration today, it's kind of very silly, as Uncharted is a pretty big franchise. The movie did reasonably well at the box office. Apparently it's going to get a sequel. It's kind of insane to think that it actually has done as good as something like Tomb Raider. Regarding gameplay, the gang at Naughty Dog were inspired by Gears of War, Resident Evil 4, and Kill Switch. But they felt these games were all too bleak and very bland and grey, and that was sort of the era of the PlayStation 3. So they decided, hey, Uncharted 1's going to be set on this very lush, beautiful island to give it some colour, some personality, and I mean, very much so. The game is very, very green. Just very green. This lovely lady, her name is Amy Henning, directed the video game. She actually directed Uncharted. I believe she did all 4 of them, but she left during the production of Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. She also did, I believe, She was involved with The Last of Us as well. She was also one of the writers. She's an amazing video game developer, and I feel like people don't talk about her enough because she was in a leading position in 2007. She's currently working on the new Captain America game called 1943 Rise of Hydra, which will be very interesting. I mean, it's a very visually interesting game if you've seen any of the footage. Good old Neil Druckmann was also brought on as a writer, and Josh Schreier, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He was also brought on to Naughty Dog, and I will be honest, the game is very simple. It's essentially just an action movie, but it's very, very fun. It's just action set piece after action set piece after action set piece. It's a fun story. It doesn't linger too long. It's always moving forward. Uncharted 1 went gold in October 2007, and fun fact, it actually released in Australia first, then it came out in Europe, and finally North America. Now the game does feel like it's from 2007. It's got that age to it in regards to how the parkour works, in regards to just how it flows, but the minute-to-minute gameplay is quite fun. It does get repetitive towards the ending because it never really gets obnoxiously harder. It just kind of gets more stupid. That's like the best way I can play it. It annoyed me for very silly reasons. The final boss in particular, I remember when I was younger playing this video game was really, really hard and really kind of not great, and replaying it now as an adult, I would say, it's a terribly designed final boss. I believe that overall Uncharted 1 needed a little bit more time in the oven, but of course money and shareholders and implications, there are certain things that video game developers just can't do, but for the most part, I mean, look at this. That was awesome. The overall adventure is great. It's fun, it's simple, and it works. There's not many bad guys in the game either. There's this dude who sucks. He is the main baddie, technically. Then there's this guy who's just like British. He's like, hello there, I'm British. And then there's this guy who's the most interesting because he actually has some sort of past relationship with Drake, but it doesn't really mean anything. So that's like all of the characters in the entire game. Finally, you have Nate, who, I mean, pretty boy Nate. Look at this guy. He's like, what, 28 in this game? And then you have Sully, who, for the most part, is like dead in this game, which is very kind of crazy to think about, but he is fine. He did alright. Look at him smoking his cigar. And then we have the one and only Elena, who, considering what Naughty Dog make now, is a very interesting character. I do want to talk about her because she's very cleverly designed. She's sweet, she's confident, she's tough, but she's not too tough, but she is willing to pull up her sleeves and do the deed. In contrast to something like Ellie or Abby or whatever else, this new character that we're getting in their new game, she feels very feminine, but she also is willing to do the things she needs to do. She's fun. Like, there's a bit where she helps Drake get out of a jail cell, and she's driving, and it's a very intense scene. I literally just showed that before. She's neck and neck with him, willing to go as far as Drake is to find whatever it is that they're looking for. I also like the sort of flirtation between her and Drake. It's, wow, this person got through the game in 4 hours. Well, you can tell that they're going to eventually fall in love, but at the end of the game, they don't fall in love. They just kind of, he wraps his arm around her and that's that. She's more than happy to watch Nate climb around and fool around and do the things that guys need to do in this sort of very specific situation where you're stuck on an island full of pirates that want to kill you. The level design in this game is actually incredibly genius. They reuse a lot of assets, but it's very smart because you're able to get familiar with the island. You understand what it's all about. You understand the various places because you end up revisiting them quite a lot. So the island becomes a very familiar place for you, and there is a lot of really great set pieces in the game set in various locations. For example, like this fort that is a huge part of the sort of first third of the game. The parkour system, which every game now uses, I'm not even joking, Star Wars, the new, like literally all the new Star Wars games, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon with the dinosaurs, and it's very good in this game because of the animations. Naughty Dog did a really, really clever thing by making the animation quite intense. For example, Nate really lunges and he uses all his body weight to catch onto things. And also, for some reason, there's jet skis. I don't know why, but there's jet skis in this game. So there's 22 levels in this game. 2 of them involve you riding a jet ski. One of them is alright. This one's fine. This one does the job. It's not too hard. It's kind of, a little bit of a nuance with gameplay. But then there's this other one. You have to drive up a rapid, and there's barrels that explode if you touch them, and it's so much fun. So much fun. Just people shooting at you, and you can barely control the jet ski, and it's so 2007. It's so much fun. Now, the game has aged. Everything, for some reason, and you can see this within the gameplay, it's very, like, creamy, if that makes any sense. It feels very just like there's a layer of cream on top of everything. Nate moisturizes. The cast is amazing. We've got Nolan North, of course, as the man himself. Oh my, this is just the perfect person to cast. He is so good in it. I mean, what game isn't he in? Of course, he's known for being in Uncharted, but he's also in Pretty Little Liars for some reason. And a lot of it too. Then we have Emily Rose as Elena. Now, she's pretty good as Elena, but there are some things that she does in the game that feel a little bit off, I would say. There are some lines where it's like they could have re-recorded that for sure. We also have the one and only Richard McGonigal, who plays Sully, and I mean Mark Wahlberg, eat your heart out, because this guy is just perfectly cast. He's so good in it, and a really impressive career as well. This guy just looks super familiar. I think he plays the villain who you kill at the end of the game. The interesting thing about Emily Rose, who plays Elena, was she was also recently in God of War. She played Sif, Lady Sif. Now, did I get angry playing Uncharted 1? Yes. Did I get annoyed? Perhaps. Was I over it by the time I finished it? A little bit. Should you play it? I think so. It's a pretty fun game. I don't know how much the remastered collection costs, because again, for some reason I got it for free, but I would highly recommend it. It's a game that they don't make anymore. It's fun, it's stupid, it doesn't overstay its welcome. Of course, Intergalactic is coming out soon. Will it do well? I don't know. But it does look very particular. Like, is this a lightsaber? What's up with this? I'm sure it'll be fun to play, but it's kind of interesting to see what Naughty Dog used to be and what they are now. A lot of these big companies have the same title, but not the same people. Not to say that this game will be bad or good. I think it might be actually quite a lot of fun, because Naughty Dog are very good at designing very interesting, action-focused, single-player games. But there's a lot of discourse with this game. So yeah, that's this video. That is this video. It's done. Finished. Kabam. Let me know when was the last time you played the first Uncharted, and I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.